Welcome back to today's build. I'll be your guide to this wonderful game we all love. Let's get started.
Really quick, this video is not a list of upgrades for the new Precon decks. Plenty of those videos exist already. This is also not a list of cards from the new set that I think have homes in decks. Again, those videos already exist, but even if they didn't, I think that's a poor way to build a deck. Instead, this video will answer the question, if we took the decks we've already built and started over from scratch, which cards from the new set would make the cut? Let's get started. First up is Optimus Prime. When we built this deck, we made a lot of cuts from the Optimus EDH rec page because they were so mediocre, and noted that the cards we want to play need to be those where our counters actually do work, and in this set, there's a positively brilliant vampire that was practically made for this. We're only putting a single 1/1 counter on a creature each turn, so the line of text that says this ability triggers once each turn is basically flavor text for us. Dusk Legion Duelist essentially just reads, draw a card every turn, not just your own. Likewise, Axguard Artisan will make us a treasure each turn with our commander. I am loving this. To make room for these two, we'll be cutting Smuggler's Share and Swords to Plowshares. Swords for the same reasons as we cut it in our Urza deck, and Smuggler's Share because the treasures and card draw we get out of these inclusions is strictly better than this enchantment. Next is Wilson. Wilson loves the backup mechanic. Not only do these creatures pump him the turn they come in, they also give him an extra ability, and after they've outlived their usefulness, can be sacrificed to the cultist. Sadly, this set does not have a lot that's really stellar for the deck, as tightly packed as it already is. Scornblade Berserker is a great alternative to Iron Apprentice though, since it makes the counters immediately. We'll also be picking up a copy of Cosmic Hunger, since it's strictly better than Bite Down or Master's Rebuke. Next is Braid's Arisen Nightmare. Nezumi Informant is another great discard dork in Braids, and Glistening Deluge can serve as a one-sided board wipe when things get dicey with our opponent's creatures. To make room for them, we'll be cutting Demon's Due and Blood Price. The life loss on both of these has been cutting it close for me in games, and I'd rather have the interaction and let Braids keep churning through herself than dig through even more. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. With all the support for counters in this set, there are a lot of candidates for an Atraxa deck, as well as a lot of cards that look better than they really are. Of course, my top pick, though, is Kami of Endless Gifts. Normally I'd be really low on this card, but after comparing it to two other cards in the deck, I realized this kinda does the job of both Astral Cornucopia and Lae'zel. Even though we'd rather play Atraxa on turn 3, if we play this turn 3 like we would have the Cornucopia, it ramps and fixes our mana for a turn 4 Atraxa, and provides even more mana the more counters it picks up, just like the Cornucopia. But unlike the Cornucopia, this helps double up the counters we put on other permanents and on itself. This dork gets 2 extra mana per proliferate, and doubles the strength of our other 1/1 counter proliferates. The only downside is that it doesn't come with its own counters, but we've got plenty of ways to handle that. We'll be cutting Tezzeret for it, since the artifacts in the deck serve a similar mana production role, but we don't have nearly enough artifacts to make it consistently good. We'll also put some more counters on our board with Filigree Vector. We have a lot of 1/1 counters lying around, and since the few artifacts we do have care about charge counters, this is a great reload effect if we're running low on Bankbuster or Prison counters, and can be a big boost of power to help cross the finish line. And since we can target our opponent's creatures, this also synergizes with Generous Patron to become a stupidly efficient draw spell. We'll cut Power Conduit for it since it serves a similar role but is much slower. And that's all for the decks. If you stayed this far, thanks for watching. The videos and decks I'll be looking at next can be found here, in no particular order, so if these interest you, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss them, and check out the playlist in the top left if you saw a deck today that you want to see. Thanks for watching!